I don't think anybody's ever been murdered down here. Granted, I didn't ever check that. Okay, so today we're gonna see if we can spook Sarah. The place we're going isn't actually scary. It's like an actual tourist attraction here in Zagreb, but she doesn't know about it. You probably don't either, and we're going right now. All right, we are off to the spot. Sarah is completely in the dark. She has no idea where we're going, no idea what to expect. Sarah, what are you expecting so far?
I don't know, I'm extremely nervous. My heart is beating really fast. It may have something to do with the hill we're walking up, but it also has something to do with the fact that I don't like surprises even a little bit, so.
What if it's a good surprise though?
Doesn't matter. We're not like skydiving, right?
No, we're not skydiving. We're not skydiving.
What if I don't want to do the thing? Am I allowed to say no?
No. For the sake of the YouTube audience, you have to partake in this.
Okay. What is it?
We're walking in this tunnel.
What is this tunnel?
Exactly. What is this tunnel? That's a great question, Sarah. Sarah's doing really well. She's not freaking out, and it's really echoey in here. This is actually an underground tunnel network that runs under the city of Zagreb, and it was created back in World War II, really as like a bunker for the civilians, and then it was like shut down for a while. They reopened it as a bunker for like the war that was going on in the 90s. Okay, which way should we go? Go that way? We're going this way. It'd be a lot easier if you could read Croatian. Unfortunately, we are those uneducated people who cannot. Probably like yourself. And if you can't, hey, good on you, but we can't read Croatian, so we're just kind of walking. It's like a maze down here. There's a lot of different ways, but it's basically used by locals to avoid the tourists, to avoid all the traffic that's going on up on the actual ground level. We're gonna see what's going on in here and kind of show you where it leads to and see if there's anything spooky in here.
Spooky.
Okay, check this out. This is a little bit spooky. There's certain sections that are like blocked off that aren't open right now, and this right here is one of them. It's dark in there, but we're gonna shine the light and see if we can see anything in there.
I've seen a movie that started like this.
Those movies generally don't end up going well for the people who discover this. Oh
We're
my
not
god,
even
that is kind of creepy.
That's kind of creepy.
We're totally fine. There's nothing scary about
We're
it.
not even the main characters at this point. We're just the prologue people that die to give you a sense of who the murderer is.
I don't think anybody's ever been murdered down here. Granted, I didn't ever check that, so it's possible, but really safe town. I don't think that's happened at any point.
So glad we're not skydiving.
I think this is the opposite of skydiving. One of the other things that's kind of cool about this place is it's actually where like the first ever rave in Croatia took place. They did a rave down here, which like, can you imagine a rave down here? We've never been to a rave, so that's what we imagine it would be like, but it's probably much different than that. That is the end of the tunnel, and we are now officially out. See, was it that bad? No, it wasn't scary, wasn't skydiving underground, which one day we should figure out how to do that. If we could pull that off on this channel, that's when we know that we'll reach the top. Don't know that we'll ever be able to do that. All right, so one thing that is really cool here in Zagreb is every single Sunday in the British Square, they call it Square Britannica. It's about like a 10 to 12 minute walk from like the center of the city. They have like this antique sale, which is basically like, think of it like as a garage sale on steroids, but really cool stuff. You've got jewelry, you've got artwork, you've got clothes, you have like medals, you have like guns from old wars, like anything that you could possibly think of is here. And it's really cool just to kind of like see all of this stuff and see just like how much they're influenced by our culture, and you can see a lot of the stuff that is part of their culture. It's almost like walking through like a time capsule and just you get to see what like people have collected here in Croatia over the years. It's really neat, definitely something you should check out. So one of the things that is pretty unique here in Zagreb as well is they have, I think it's called like a funicular, basically like this short little like trolley thing that just takes you up a hill. This is the hill that we're walking up right now. As you can see, we got to get to the top of that. It's really not that far here. This is actually like one of the shortest ones in the world or in Europe, but I think it costs like $2 if you want to ride it up and down. We like walking, so we're just gonna walk right up it, but the way you find it, it's right off of the main street, which is the Lica. We're on our way to the Museum of Broken Relationships. There's also like a tower with like a beautiful view at the top of this, so a couple different things here in the upper town that you would want to come up this thing for. And you'll know you're at the top when you are both out of breath and have this view. So, onto the museum. All right, so we just walked out of it. Actually, a really, really interesting and cool museum. Not entirely like what I expected. There was like some really funny parts and like funny stories, and there were also some like really, really sad and like heartfelt stories. But I do want to give you like a sneak preview. We'll see how good your pause game is. I'm gonna flash them up really quick. So here are just one or two of my favorites. But if you want more of those, again, be sure to check it out. Oh, and the price point for it was about 40 kuna, which is $6 USD, so not too bad. I would say it's definitely worth it. Sarah, would you?
Absolutely.
So maybe check that out if you're here in Zagreb and have about an hour to kill. Sarah, serious question though. Are you currently like hoarding any scabs of mine?
No.
I don't think I've had a scab in a very long time, so hopefully not.
Yeah, you
but
don't fall down a lot.
Yeah, I don't fall down a lot. Now we're gonna jinx. Now I'm gonna fall on the streets of Zagreb. Stop! Just trying to make me fall. You saw that? This is one of our favorite places. I'm about to go to town on this sandwich. I think it's called Dubravica. It's only like $2 for a sandwich. Sarah got her little like fries factory thing. She got some pillow puffs today, cheese pillow puffs. If you do come and visit and get something from Dubravica or Dubravica, however you say it, I definitely recommend them over Mlinar and Panpek. They're fine too, but we find the quality is a little bit better at Dubravica. But there's a park that is like right across from the center of the city. It's great to just grab a sandwich, come and sit here and have a little meal in the park. You'll get to see a lot of cute dogs, a lot of locals. It's just a fun time, so definitely be sure to check this out. Okay, so I know we just ate, but we were passing one of the places that we've tried before. I think this is just called like the Cheese and Wine Bar, Wine and Cheese. It's right out of like the city center. We were passing it. There's the chef. I'll put him in the picture. He cooks something up new like every day, maybe like once or twice a week. It's something like special. He gets fresh ingredients. Today is beef goulash. We had to stop and try a bowl. Last time he made some like incredible like seafood mix. I'll put a picture of that as well. So we're trying this beef goulash and this antique pelum. It's like a traditional Croatian alcoholic beverage that like really warms you up. It's kind of a chilly day. Shout out to our friend Maya for introducing it to us. So basically what you do is you put this ice in there and then you have like some like lemon juice. You put the lemon juice in there as well. And then when you try it, it's like really warm. It's kind of like it's a great wintry drink. It just like warms you up. It's kind of a chilly day. So we're gonna have some glasses of these. Maya, these are for you. And we're gonna enjoy this beef goulash. Okay, I'm declaring it right now. If there's anywhere that you're gonna come in Zagreb, if this chef is cooking, if you see him outside with his pot or whatever he's making, it is the #1 spot in Zagreb to come. This is unbelievable. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. You have to check him out. I just asked, so on Tuesdays, he makes like a meat dish, so it's Tuesday today, that's why we had the beef goulash. On Fridays, they do some type of seafood dish, and then on Saturdays, he's out here with like wine, cheese, and like thinly sliced meat, so like I think last Saturday was bruschetta. So Tuesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Go and find that guy. If he is there, you gotta be here. Somebody, Michelin, get this man a Michelin star, because he deserves it. Next up on the agenda is the 80s Museum, another unique museum here in Zagreb. It's supposed to be like a totally interactive thing, throw you back to the 80s. I wasn't born in the 80s. I don't think you were either. So let's go transport back, see what it would have been like. Welcome to the 80s. I got a Commodore and Pac-Man, Commodore and Pac-Man. They got like this whole room is like games. Old computer games, stuff like that. Oh boy, we're about to play. This used to be my game. If you know Galaga, you're my type of person. Oh my god! Let me know right now, Galaga versus Pac-Man. I'm firmly Team Galaga, but I can respect Pac-Man. I think Mom is Team Pac-Man. I think she's over there playing right now. If you like video games, to have all the old arcade games, Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, all the things you can remember, to have a Commodore, an Atari, all of these games, like, it's incredible just for that. We're getting a typewriting lesson from the one person who was around in the 80s. That was my mom.
This is how I learned my typing skills. In high school, it was on a typewriter, not a computer.
Very different.
So you put your piece of paper here in the back. This is your return, and I would press on this bottom, which is still the same as a keyboard, right? And it would give you your capital letters.
That computer, that's what my mom and her twin brother, that's what they went to college with. That was the first computer that they used in college. All right, so we just wrapped up at the 80s Museum. We're gonna give it a proper review and kind of compare it with the Museum of Broken Relationships. It was 40 kuna per ticket, so exact same as the Museum of Broken Relationships. Again, at $6 USD. Basically what it was an apartment that used to be an actual apartment. Somebody actually lived in that place back when this was considered Yugoslavia. And then they've had additional people donate things from the 80s there to give it like the true ambiance and everything. But everything was interactive. As you saw, we could touch and do whatever we wanted with anything. Mom, you lived through the 80s. Would you recommend this museum, and was it accurate?
I would have paid the $6 just for the Pac-Man. Yeah, it was awesome.
I think me too. Sarah, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was very, very cool. I loved it.
So obviously a must-see museum here in Zagreb. Compared to the Museum of Broken Relationships, I'd say they're just totally different, right? The Museum of Broken Relationships, you'll get a couple chuckles, but again, also some heartfelt stuff and like be ready to get emotional in there. Where the 80s Museum, like just pure fun, especially if you're a video game lover, you gotta see it. So both are right next to each other, like they're like a 5-minute walk away. So be sure to check out both if you're here in Zagreb. All right, so Sarah and I have decided that there are only 2 constants in this world. Number 1, McDonald's, and the second is Brad. Brad Pitt is everywhere, worldwide famous, everybody loves him. He still can be found everywhere here. I'm not just talking in Zagreb, throughout Croatia, throughout Slovenia, everywhere we've been, we've seen Brad's face. Now, if you've never been to Europe before and you're wondering, what's the shopping gonna be like? Am I only gonna be shopping at European places that I don't really know the quality or the brand? That's part of the fun, is the European brands are a lot of times so much better and it's fun to do those, but you also have your big brands like H&M is right behind me, there's an Apple store, there's Calvin Klein, all the big brands that you're used to in America, most of them will still be out here. Lush, I mean, all of those are still here, but it's really fun to explore some of the local places and support the local businesses. And the best part is your dollar is gonna go a heck of a lot further here, so it's a win-win. You get some great deals and you get to support the local businesses, but just know you'll still be able to find everything that you need here in Croatia. I gotta highly recommend this street. I have no idea what the street is named, but I'll put it in the description or just flash it on the screen. It's right on the top part of the center square. There's 2 streets, both really cute, and this is kind of where all the happening bars are, restaurants, all kinds of stuff. So I would definitely come up here if you're looking for that nightlife and bar atmosphere. It's just a fun place, definitely something that you want to come and try, even if you're not gonna have a meal here. So this is the downtown square. It's just a really neat concept that I'm sure we're gonna find in just about every European city, but it's just a place where everybody comes and hangs out. It's where you can catch the main trams and everything. It's just a very family-oriented place. A place that's kind of fun to just come watch and observe. A lot of cafes around it. It's obviously pretty central, so it'll get you to those main strips, like the big street that we just came from. Thank you. More music. More music. There's just always a lot of fun music going around here, Zagreb, full of music. I love it. So we're right here at this observation deck. This actually used to be a part of an old watchtower. Way back when, Zagreb actually, what we now have is 2 parts, right? You have the part that's up on the hill and then the lower part of town. It used to just be the part up on the hill, and it was kind of like a castle, or the walls that were surrounding and protecting it. So you've got this watchtower that I'm currently walking up. I might run myself out of breath here pretty soon, but it is now a tourist attraction, and it's an observatory deck where you can basically overlook all of Zagreb. I've just about made it to the top. This thing is pretty steep. There's a couple different levels. It's definitely pretty narrow too. Only one person can get up, but once you get up here, you overlook the entire city. So I'll show you. This is what would have used to been old Zagreb. This is the upper part of the town, and it goes all the way around 360-degree angle, and you can see all of the lower town as well. And you're way, way up here. It does cost money to come up here. It is 20 kuna per person, which is about $3 per ticket. So I'd probably recommend to come either in the morning or in the evening. You probably are gonna run into more traffic in the evening. Right now it's about 6:30. We actually went up around 6:15, and around that time it gets pretty packed, only because the last call for tickets is at 6:30, and when you do that, you kind of get to see a glimpse of the sunset. So they'll allow you to be up in the tower until 7, so just be aware of that if you are wanting to come. Make sure you know that it does close. Now, if you consider yourself to be more of a budget traveler and you don't want to spend the $3 to get up there, no worries, you can still get some pretty good views. Right behind me is this park. I'll throw the name up of the park right here, but a lot of locals will come here because they obviously don't want to pay the money each and every day, but there's all these benches and you still get great views of the city like that. Not as good, because again, you're not paying, you're not quite as high up, but a peaceful little walkway, and this is just around the corner from that observation deck. So you can come do this. They've also got a little cafe up here as well. So if you are looking to save some cash, this might be a decent place to check out.